Right, so I don't know what kind of video this is gonna be. This is not gonna have an intro. There's no intro, no greeting. Hi, there's your greeting. Um, we have a box here, and it's from Hornby, and there should be a king in this box. Now, it came directly from Hornby, again, and my current suspicions are that with Hornby lately, it seems they've moved away from actually properly packaging stuff. If you look at my Black Friday video, they've solely relied on the locomotive packaging. They just didn't even bother to wrap it properly. At least this time they did, except it's like a weird box. It's a weird, strange looking box. I've never seen a box like this. It's a heavily beat up box. As you can see, there's some rips and tears. There's a massive hole there, and it's practically falling apart. So, before anyone says, no, this is not staged, obviously it still has all its tape on it. This is not a staged video, because I know there's going to be that one person. But I'm going to open this, and the main reason why I'm doing this on camera is because it's an insurance policy. Just in case something's wrong, which I'm pretty sure there will be. So, there should be a king in here. Hopefully there is. It's probably going to be in many pieces, because I'm very curious to see what Hornby did. Because I'm pretty sure this is in the old packaging. So, there's bound to be some damage. And I've heard some horror stories on a certain model rail form of someone who bought a Standard 2 from Hornby, and it came not in the best condition and had to be sent back. So I hope this is not a City of London situation. I really hope not, because I literally cannot afford to send this back. So without further ado, I'm gonna open it from this end. Oh, and also, by the way, there's a lot of moving around, so if that makes sense. Probably doesn't, but it basically, this thing isn't packaged properly, so I'm scared to, yeah. Also, I will be taking pictures with my phone, so if there's cuts, yeah, that's why, so bear with me. And hopefully I don't cut myself. Okay, there we go. It's a really interesting box. Oh boy. Oh. Well. That's a problem. Oh boy. Please, for the love of God, be in one piece. So, here's the box. That's what it is. It's a king. I'll explain later. What do you guys think? Bubble wrap or no bubble wrap? I'm gonna go with no bubble wrap. Let's find out. Bubble wrap! Oh my god. Well, shit. Alright then. We're not out of the woods yet. Shoe. Actually surprised. There's bubble wrap. That's very interesting. Looks like they changed around there. How about we actually get rid of the bubble wrap and look at the damn model? How about we do that, yeah? Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Should probably do that. Well, it's wrapped in bubble wrap. That's a start. Interesting. Interesting looking render. I don't know if they changed it from the previous ones. One thing I do know is that the green is different, but we won't know until we, look at the damn box. but doing quick inspections first, just in case. Everything seems to be fine. No dents. Nothing's rattling, which is should be a good sign. I'm scared. Let's just rip off the Band-Aid. I don't see anything. Alright, camera. Yep. I'm actually pleasantly surprised. Well, how about that? It actually survived the journey. Great job, Hornby. Please don't do this again. Yeah, I'm gonna get it out. I can breathe now. I'm gonna get this out. We're gonna take a good long look at it, and I'm gonna rant for a little bit, if you don't mind, which you probably will. But rant incoming, just letting you know. So let's get this out, and let's proceed with this video. So here is the king, separated from his tender, as you can see. So I did kind of lie. There was some slight quality problems, but nothing too bad. I'll go over it later in a bit. But yeah, here it is. We're gonna take a brief look at it. A very brief look at it. As you can see, this thing is absolutely immaculate. I will be honest though, I did already get into the detail bag, so a lot of the majority of the detail has been fitted, and I kind of already customized it. As you can see, there is something missing from the front, but that was relatively easy. There's like a little screw. Don't know if you can see it. It's there. Let me just zoom in all the way. But yeah, there's like a little teeny weeny little screw there. There it is. I'll put up a picture. But there's like a little screw, and the pocket is on that. And all I did was just cut it off. Thankfully, the pocket is plastic and not metal, like most other models. But yeah, that was relatively easy. But looking at the detail, you can see all the rivets, the lamp irons, front, the vacuum pipe is already fitted, sprung buffers, sprung metal buffers. And then looking to the front, nothing dropped off. I'm actually very surprised this thing survived. So yeah, there's the number 6009, shed code 81A, which I believe is Old Oak Common. I will correct myself, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is. You have your lamp irons up there, your double chimney, which is unfortunately not a metal bit, but it actually looks pretty convincing, because I think it's gloss. They put like gloss paint on it or something, but still not a substitute for the real thing like the Saint is going to have. But yeah, as you can see, the lining. There's the nameplate, King Charles II. So this is getting renumbered to King Edward I, 6024, minus all the cut down bits and pieces. There's a safety valve on it, again looking really nice. I don't know what paint they're using, but it's yeah. There's the whistles. And the roof has sliding vents. They do slide, trust me. There we go. And then the rivet detail on that as well. 6009. I do apologize for being zoomed in all the way. There's a crosshead. There's a sand pipes and sandbox there. I'm actually surprised it's there. I thought it was somewhere else, and I was like, oh, that's weird. But no, that's how it's supposed to be. Here's your steam pipe. Now Hornby, I believe Hornby did a tooling suite for these that accommodates for different styles of steam pipe, because this is the later version. And also, I believe if we just turn it around to the slightly more detailed side, there's the hydrostatic lubricator right there on the running board, and then I think this is like the superheater cover. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that's what it is. And I believe on the later Kings, the later modified ones that have the double chimney, this is slightly larger. But there's I won't say it's too expensive. It's a relatively average tooling suite. Yeah, lining of course is superb as always. There's your double red indicator discs as well, because this thing is heavy. It's a little too heavy, some might say. Yeah, the detail is superb for something that is 10 years old, and that's a topic for later on in the video. But yeah, so it's while we're staying on the locomotive, in terms of quality problems, there are a couple. Nothing too bad, but just something I've noticed, because I think mine was like a weekend assembly job. Because if I zoom in, you see that handrail? You see this footplate here? How it bows down, or whether or not how the cab doesn't go in all the way. That's because this isn't in, and it wasn't assembled properly. And if we look to the other side, also cab detail. Sorry for my ADHD brain, but cab detail is nice. There's no firebox glow, but that's the topic of another rant coming relatively soon. But if we look towards the other side of the cab, you can see that handrail is in place, and it's not on the other side. And also, I mean, it slopes down ever so slightly. The running board, unfortunately, is plastic. Again, a 10-year-old model. I expected something more modern, which this is and it is not, to have, you know, a metal running board. But I digress. But again, I think this was like a weekend assembly job, because I don't know how to fix this, so to say, because at least in my opinion, Hornby locomotives are a little bit more difficult to disassemble in terms of like body removal from running board, like boiler. So let me explain this, because I'm not good at this. In my couple years of repainting, Bachmann locomotives are relatively easy to take apart. There's like a couple of screws that you gotta undo. There's like a screw under the smoke box, and then there's like a couple under the firebox or cab, and then the whole assembly, boiler, cab, comes off from a running board. Whereas Hornby locomotives, I don't know if they are assembled in the same way. At least in my opinion, from what I can tell, they're just all glued down regardless. So there's no screws or anything holding the boiler and the smoke box and the firebox and the cab. The whole unit really is like glued down to the running board. There is a screw though in this model. I don't know if you can see it. It's Actually, yes, you can. It's way in there, and for whatever reason, the inside motion isn't painted, but it's there. You can just about make it out. It's right there. And I believe that's part of the chassis. I think the inside motion is part of the chassis, so I'll just end up painting it anyway once I've renumbered this and stuff. But yeah, I don't think the boiler and the cab are one unit. I think, at least with a Hornby locomotive, it's all glued together, and then the body itself is attached to the chassis with like a single screw or something. That's my theory. If you have ever repainted a Hornby locomotive, and I mean like something like this, like a proper detailed locomotive, not like a railroad thing. But if you have, please let me know how easy are they to disassemble, because the only Hornby locomotive I've ever painted to date is my Britannia. And the less said about that, the better, because that thing was an absolute pain in the backside to repaint. But I'm making progress with that anyway. But yeah, pretty decent model for its age. Oh, and also the sight quality problem. Another sight quality problem. When I took it out, the fall plate actually came detached. I don't even think it was glued in. It just fell out because there was like a little piece of foam holding between the cab and the tender. But the fall plate does pivot, as you can see. And then we have our injector piping, which, once again, surprisingly, I will keep stating this, I'm very surprised this thing survived its trip. But yeah, I believe the base plate comes off. It's not like hardwired on. Brake rigging here, that's part of the detail bag. And just giving away what's in the detail bag right now, all you get is like these cylinder drain cocks and brake rigging and an M pocket, which is not getting used on this model for obvious reasons. And you also get pseudo etched number plates. You don't get name plates. Don't know why, but I say pseudo because they're not etched. They are just printed pieces of plastic, which don't look convincing at all, and they're really terrible. And I wish Hornby stopped doing it, but alas, they don't. The only time I've ever seen an etched plate on a Hornby locomotive was Mayflower, and that genuinely surprised me. So, like I said, this is getting renumbered anyway. Pretty heavy model as well. I'll put up the weight in like a subtitle or something. And once again, before we move on to the tender, the detail is pretty good for a 10-year-old model, especially the bogie detail, because Kings have weird bogies, as you can see. There's like the spring is on the outside instead of being on the inside for whatever reason, and then you have like your valves here, because this is a 4-cylinder locomotive, and then you have the 2 out here and the 2 outside. Pretty yeah, I've wanted one of these for quite some time. And as you can see, the livery, oh good gosh, yeah, the livery is absolutely amazing. This is the best interpretation of green, of BR green, I've seen from Hornby. Same goes for the Great Western livery. 2 thumbs up for me. They finally got it right after like 20-something years of not getting it right. So, tender is pretty basic. Sprung buffers, here's your lamp irons, your separately fitted wire handrails, and steps here. You have a builder's plate for the tender. I'm not sure if the camera's going to actually read it, but this is basically a 4,000 gallon tender. Yeah, don't know if you can make that out, but rivet detail, once again, pretty well. The only problem I have with the tender is that there was a lot of flash marks, flashing, as you can see on that step. I don't know what happened, but hello? Yeah, there's like a lot of flash. I tried to remove as much of it as I could without damaging the tender. Brake rigging once again, part of the detail bag for the locomotive. Then you have your wires here, non-sprung, obviously, buffers, your varying controls, water scoop, handbrake, tender toolboxes, lake crest, lining, all beautifully applied, not supplied, applied. The coal load is removable. It's plastic, unfortunately. There goes my heater again. The coal load is plastic and it is removable. However, I haven't gotten around to taking it out yet, so we'll see. And then here's your water filler caps. Very interesting water filler caps for Kings, I've noticed. It's only the Kings that have these, this style. This is a 4,000. This is a Cullet 4,000 gallon tender, and most of them don't look like this. They don't have water filler caps like this anyways, so I think this is only a thing the Kings had. But tenders did get around. And yeah, once again, the only issue I have with the tender is like the amount of flash marks that were present. So it causes me to believe that this was a weekend assembly job. So, I mean, it is what it is. Thankfully, there's no glue marks, and apart from the fall plate and the cab, the rear of the cab here, there's really nothing else I could complain about. So, 2 thumbs up for me. Once again, I'm very surprised it survived. I was expecting a whole lot worse, but I'm glad it's here, and I have yet to run it, but we'll get into that probably. I'll show you like a clip of it running, doing its first moves on the test track and on the rolling road, because I'm gonna be honest, I do not feel like setting the temporary layout up, and I haven't been for pretty much the whole year. I just can't be bothered with it anymore, and there's only so many times you see trains running around on a circle on the floor, so that gets boring very quickly. So I do apologize if you are looking to see this run properly with a train. I probably will do it on my own time when I get around to it, but yeah, I just don't feel like setting the temporary layout up anymore. And like I said, watching a train go around a circle on the floor is boring. So I don't have room for a layout, unfortunately. I probably won't for many, many years. Yeah, I won't get into that. But so what I want to talk about is the price for this thing. The main reason why I got this, the price. So this was in Hornby's Black Friday deal or sale or whatever that was currently going on, or still is going on at the moment of filming. But yeah, so this was the RP for this. There goes the heater again. I do apologize if you can hear it. Nothing I can do about it. It's cold. But anyway, so this was in Hornby's Black Friday deal sale thing, and the RP for this is like 249 pounds. Which is stupid, of course, for, once again, a 10-year-old model. But, Hornby have drastically discounted this to 125 pounds, which is more understandable, more reasonable, and I think that was the old RP at one point. Could be wrong. I'll put up a subtitle. But, I don't know about you, but what's better? 249 pounds or 125? I think 125 sounds better. And so with that in mind, I went and bought this because I've had my eye on this for a very long time since it was announced. This, I believe, it was part of the 2025 range. So it was this one, King Charles II. This is King Charles II, right? Yes. King Charles II, and another one, the Great Western Liveried one, which looked really good. It was very tempting, I'm not gonna lie. That one was called King Stephen. I believe the number of that was 6029. Put up an annotation once again. But that one had been discounted previously, but through retailers like Rails and TMC. That one was like discounted to, I think, the same price, 125 pounds. But yeah, I was waiting for this one because this was the one I wanted. So when the moment came, I jumped at it, and using my points, my Hornby rewards points, I had like 11,400 something points. So this was reduced, and from like $162 going into US dollars now, $162 to $110, and that was with shipping, because yeah, there's a current tariff problem going on right now if you haven't been keeping up with the current economic situation, which is, for us US modelers who like, you know, British stuff, it's really annoying, and it's unfortunate because we have to miss out on so much stuff, and stuff like this is twice as expensive now. So normally I would have bought from Rails, and I had been keeping my eye on this pre-tariff. I had my eyes on this, and I was actually looking to buy it at some point, but the Rails price is like £166. That's with VAT deducted. I don't know what the actual sell price is, because the website only does like VAT deducted stuff now, which it is what it is. But yeah, so Rails, I haven't bought anything from Rails, I'm gonna be completely honest, since pre-tariffs. My last purchase was the Rapido 44XX, almost at 45. They are doing that too. But yeah, it's just too expensive at the moment. I actually am moving a lot of my pre-orders over from Rails to TMC, because TMC have a trunk now, and at the moment of filming I do have a trunk shipment coming. I don't know when, because they haven't sent me the invoice yet, but I will do a video on that once that arrives, and that will be the last trunk video I do, period. So now I'm getting into something a little bit controversial. So this is just my opinion, so I'm just going to put that out there. Feel free to disagree, just be, you know, civil about it, because if you are rude, and yeah, if you're rude, I'm going to respond accordingly. I will retaliate in said manner. If you are nice and you want to have a civil debate, so to speak, feel free. But if you're rude, yeah, I will respond accordingly. So, as I've said before, this model is like 10 years old. This was announced in like 2015, maybe 14, give or take, probably 2015, but I do remember this being announced and being overjoyed when that happened, because the previous King before that was, well, not that good. It's old, it's crusty, and it doesn't look right, like a lot of old stuff, in my opinion. I do not like old models, by the way. That's just me. That's just me. If you like the old King, it's good for you, but I don't like it. I can't stand old models, and yeah, we'll leave it at that. But yeah, I remember being overjoyed when this was announced, because in my opinion this looks a hell of a lot better than the old one, because this is a retool. So the old King, I believe, didn't have a DCC socket, and then eventually it did, and I believe it was in the locomotive, but this one is in the tender, where it should be, and has tender pickups and all that stuff. So I think that's something they only have in common. They're both models of Kings, and they both have locomotive and tender pickups, and I think that's pretty much about it. That's the similarities about. But as for the tooling suite, Hornby have done the single chimneyed and the later double chimneyed Kings with varying modifications made to respective periods in terms of the tooling. So the Great Western ones don't have the hydrostatic lubricator, they don't have double chimneys. The later BR ones, they do have hydrostatic lubricators, they do have double chimneys, they have modified steam pipes, of course. And I think that's about it as far as like tooling. I think that's mainly the only differences. Because yeah, that's because we had two Kings at one point. We had this one, and then there was the DJ Models one that was going to be made by yeah, it was the DJ Models one, and thankfully that one didn't go through. But I was looking forward to that one. I was watching it with interest, but this one was the only one that prevailed. So yeah, and it is being re-released now in 2025. It is a dated model. It's 10 years old. It doesn't have all the flashy features that people come to expect. It doesn't have a firebuck below. It doesn't have a die-cast running board. I wish it did have a die-cast running board, and at least upgrade it. At least bother to upgrade it anyways. But yeah, it doesn't have a die-cast running board. It doesn't have Firebox Glow, it doesn't have a pre-fitted speaker, it doesn't have any of the current trends in the model railway world at the moment. And that leaves people to comment. I'm sorry if I offend you, but it's something that gets under my skin. Whenever there's a new announcement from any manufacturer, one of the comments I do see that comes up every now and then is, "We need a new king. Well, a new king would be nice to have." The old king, it's not even... This model is 10 years old. It's not that old compared to some. There are other models in Hornby's range that really should not still be in production. And I can think of quite a number of them, and some of them are like 30, 40 years old, and I'm sure you all out there can think of quite a few Hornby models that should not still be in production. This thing is fine. We don't need a new king. Look at this. This fits well. In my opinion, this fits well with any of the more modern models that have come out in the last 5 years, maybe 6, 7. This is fine. Do you hear me? This is fine. We don't need a new king. The only reason why you want a new king, if you are one of those people, the only reason why you want a new king is so it can have all those flashy, fancy schmancy DCC nonsense fittings that may or may not work. So, this is fine. Do you hear me? This is fine. We don't need a new king. Please stop asking. It's very annoying. This is fine. We don't need a new one. Yeah, I do apologize for the rant. It's just something that gets under my skin, but it is what it is. That's just my opinion. This is fine. We don't need a new king. If we do end up getting a new king, hooray, I guess, but there's really not much that can be improved on, in my opinion. This is fine for a 10-year-old model. It holds up well, in my opinion, to something like the upcoming Rapido County and the Kurosco Manu and other Hornby locomotives like the Saint. I'm really looking forward to that. But in my opinion, this is fine. We don't need a new king. And if Hornby want to upgrade it, then I will actually welcome it with open arms. But this is fine. We don't need a new one. And there is one thing that I would like to see from Hornby in terms of king production, is for the shits and giggles, I would really like them to produce the streamlined, well, the half-assed streamlined version of the king. And there was also a castle as well, if I'm remembering correctly. There was also a castle that was half-assed streamlined. I would really like to see a model of that, because if we can get a streamlined B-17, I'm sure we can get a half-assed streamlined king. And I'm calling it half-assed because that's literally what it was. So yeah, I'll put up a picture. It looks something. But yeah, I think that's all I want to talk about. I'm not sure, once again, not sure what this video is going to be titled, but yeah, Hornby King. I would post a link to purchasing one from Hornby's sale that's currently going on at the moment of filming, but it's sold out now, and yeah, sorry, but I think it was a pretty decent bargain, in my opinion, especially since I got it a little bit cheaper, just a teeny bit cheaper, because yeah, my points. So yes, buying from Hornby is not great, but the points kind of make it worth it, in my opinion. And I have no idea what I'm talking about. I'm just sprouting stuff. I'm just rambling. So I'm going to end this video. And I'll probably put up a bit of the king running once I stick it back together. But yeah, if you actually bothered to watch this, thank you for watching. Thank you for putting up with my incessant rambling and the rant that I'll probably will chop down and edit to a slightly more coherent version. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. Before I dip, the next workshop diary is currently delayed because there's been a problem with that locomotive. So hopefully it'll be up after this video goes up, but I'm looking to upload it before the end of November. So I'm gonna, yeah, fingers crossed I'll get it up before then. That's my goal, to have it up before the end of November. But this one's probably gonna, this one's probably gonna come first. So yeah, anyway, I'm going now. I'm gonna put up a clip of the locomotive making its first moves on the test track and probably running in, and yeah, so see you in the next video, and bye.